Hey, legends. Frazer Brookes here with another episode of the Network Marketing Ninja podcast. And obviously, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, then it's probably not feel like a podcast for you right now. You're probably just thinking this is just a YouTube channel, a YouTube video. So I'm really, really excited because today I am joined by a new friend. I come across her, I think it was through an article on Business for Home. And my friend Ted Knighton, who runs that, he says, hey, you should connect with this girl. She's crushing it. So I thought, okay, I'll make sure that connection happens. So I reached out. We've been chatting a little bit, and I thought, hey, why not have her on the podcast? Because she's absolutely killing it. So I want to introduce you all to Holly Lynn. Holly, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I am amazing, thank you. Really excited to. It feels weird because we've already chatted before we pressed the record button, so we've asked each other how we are already. But it's always good to get it again, right? Yeah, how are you? How are you? Yeah, how are you? How are you? How are you? So, Holly, you're doing amazing in the network marketing profession. It's so good to see. Love seeing some of your stuff on social media as well. But how did you get into network marketing? What were you doing before network marketing, and how did you get into it?
Well, first off, I was a mom. I have 3 boys, and that's where I spent most of my time is being a mom. But I always felt like I was made for more. So then I decided to open my own business, which was an Etsy shop. And the Etsy shop took off. It was a very oversaturated market, but that didn't matter. It just mattered how you promoted it. It was super fun at the beginning, but then what happens is owning your own business can be so time consuming and so expensive, right? Like overhead costs and shipping, and then what happened to the world, and then everything went down, right? So then I was like, I've been in network marketing for a long time, but I never pushed it because I had my baby business. And then network marketing, I was like, this is where I want to go. I love the connection that I get to make, and I think it's just a really fun profession to be a part of.
So when was that? When were you introduced exactly to network marketing?
So I've been playing in network marketing probably for 5 or 6 years. And I never really, like I said, I saw the vision of it. I saw the time freedom of it, but I just didn't really have the time to put into it. So I kind of hung back for about 4 years. And then, what happened to the world. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to just go all in on this. Plus, I hated being trapped in my office, pushing out products and ordering and all of that stuff. I just hated it. So network marketing provided that connection, and then I just went all in.
And how were you exposed to network marketing? Were you sent a creepy message on Facebook? Did you come across someone's post and you were like, oh my God? Were you Googling it? Did you find it on YouTube? Were you on MySpace and someone connected with it? What was it? How did you come across it?
I think it was a creepy message.
There we go.
To be honest, now that I think about it.
Creepy messages work.
It worked. And I was like, I'm intrigued. I like this level of creepiness. Let me look into it.
Bring it on.
Yeah. So then I looked into it, and I thought it was a really cool concept. And I think the biggest piece that stuck to me is the time freedom. That was what I wanted in my life, to spend more time with my kids.
Yeah, it's funny because they say that there's 3 things that we need: time, money, and knowledge. If you want to grow, but you have to take 2 of them to get the third. So if you've got time and money, you can get knowledge. If you've got time and knowledge, you can make money. And if you've got money and knowledge, you can get time. So it's kind of interesting when you say that, time or whatever, then hey, it's really cool. So, where are you at with your business right now? How many customers or team members have you recruited or have you got in your team? I'd love to know.
Okay, so my business has literally exploded since I decided to go all in and just have fun. I think a lot of times network marketers forget to have fun. And if you're not having fun, or at least me, if I'm not having fun, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, that's right.
So I have 9,000 customers, and I did this in under a year. So 9,000 customers and 400 personally enrolled members.
That's amazing. In basically a year.
Basically a year, yep. So, and they're all personal. So it's not like you see so many people talk about these big, numbers, but they're all, accounted for in their team. But these are my personal numbers.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Amazing. I mean, by the way, for those of you who are listening on the podcast, you won't see this, but I've got a piece of paper. Well, I've got my notepad and my pen. Like I almost transcribe when I'm speaking to someone who's got value. Like it's not just like, oh, nugget, oh, that was good. Like I'm almost writing what Holly's saying. And it's just how I learn. So if you're watching on the video and you're like, is he scribbling? Is he doodling? Like, what's he doing? Like, no, I'm like legit making notes. And you're probably thinking, how has he made that many notes already? It's just, hey, it's just what I do. So I challenge you all to do the same thing. So how did you do it? Like, what was your method? What was your strategy? Like, I asked you before we did this, like when we were chatting, before we obviously came on Zoom, like, what do you feel is your superpower? Because that's what I ask everyone who comes on the podcast. Like, hey, what do you feel is like your superpower? And a lot of people can't answer it. So you did the legendary move of going to a few of your friends and a few of your team members and be like, hey, like, what would you say my superpower is? And you then came back to me and was like, well, they're saying like video, like systems, like quite a lot, really. So like, let's start with like, how were you able to get this number of customers, this number of personals in the last year? What was your kind of like strategy or method?
100% being authentic. So when I asked my audience, what they thought, it was all like, just you're a good person, Holly, you're kind, you obviously kill it in the videos. And that's all it took, is me just to finally just want to get uncomfortable. I think so many people hold themselves back because they don't want to get uncomfortable. So one day I was like, I got to do this, like I want this to work. So I got all sweaty, put the fear aside, and just went live on Facebook. It went terrible. I didn't love it. I was like, I'm not doing that again. And then short form video came out, and that's so much fun. Like the sounds, the filters, I think it's such a fun way to show your personality. So that's just really where my business took off, is just creating those videos and learning exactly what to share over and over again.
And short form videos on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, which one were you using mainly?
So I do all my videos on TikTok, and then I plaster them everywhere else. So
yes, there we go.
Yeah. So I've even like put them on Pinterest. I can't say that Pinterest is really doing much, but I'm like, it's going to be there.
Are you putting them on YouTube? Are you putting them on YouTube?
I've put a couple on YouTube, and they haven't done much.
No, put more on.
Keep going.
You'll see. Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Like there's so many. But Facebook Reels, I mean, that is an incredible platform right now for me. TikTok's kind of, I think, dipped a little bit. And the reason I feel like TikTok's taking a dip is because my generation of humans ran to TikTok because that was the first platform. But now that it's on Facebook, they're like, okay, we're just going to stay here, watch them here. So I love Facebook Reels. It's my favorite platform. So
Facebook's my favorite as well. I don't know. It's what I've grown up on. And I get like, you can look cooler by having more followers on Instagram and TikTok and all this, but I just feel more connected on Facebook. And I know a lot of people listening and watching can relate. If you are watching on the YouTube, let us know in the comments what platform you prefer. I know you're on YouTube, so you might want to say YouTube just so you get some favors there with the channel, but just be honest with us. So, all right. So short form video, let's talk about this. So what sort of videos are you doing? Are you going like niche related? Are you just being funny with following the trends? Are you like, screw it, every video I'm talking about my product? This is a remote control, by the way, guys, for those of you looking, it's not an actual product. Are you talking about your business? Are you talking about your business like all the time? Are you mixing it up? Do you have a ratio? Like, let's talk about that.
So I've been told I'm a little bit of an overachiever. So I have multiple TikTok accounts, and I do really strongly think niching down was what we should be doing at first. But now with it changing a little bit, I think switching it up is a good idea. So when I first started, it was all like product on that account. And then I started another one for business. But when I put it onto my reels, it's a pretty even mix of both. So I do have multiple accounts just because I did niche them down. And I do feel like if I do share something outside of my niche, the views aren't so great on TikTok. For Reels, it's different.
So then, because this is fascinating to me. So you would go onto TikTok and you'd be like, ooh, product hat. You would go onto your product TikTok account and just product. And then you would wake up the next day or later that day, you'd be like, oh, niche. So you go onto your niche related TikTok. And is it like Holly Lynn products, Holly Lynn business, Holly Lynn the mom? Like, are they accounts called that or something else?
They're all Hey Holly Lynn. So I have the Holly Lynn, Hey Holly Lynn. That's how you can find me.
Yeah.
But literally it's all product. And I tell people, I'm like, I'm not really on TikTok. This sounds kind of bad, but I'm not really on TikTok to make friends or a following. I'm on TikTok to sell.
Right. Of course.
Because that's what's working. Like the amount of sales that you can be bringing in is insane. So I'm just there for sales. And that's kind of what I teach people. It's like, get on there and just sell, like make it easy for your customer to get that product. Don't make it challenging because otherwise you're going to lose the sale. People need to like be spoon fed how to get your product, right? I mean, if it's hard, they're just going to keep scrolling.
So that's a great tip there. Like you got to make it like literally so simple for them to take the next step. So like,
simple.
what does the next step look like for someone? Like, let's say I'm scrolling on TikTok, which I do from time to time. I try and limit my scroll holing on TikTok because it can get a little bit out of hand. But let's say I'm on there, scroll, and I see you and I'm like, oh, she's energetic, she's vibrant, she's like, oh, talking about a product, what's this? And I'm like, oh, I want that. What do you encourage people to do? Do you encourage people to comment? Do you encourage people to reach out to you on Facebook or on Instagram? Do you encourage people to text you, to email you? Like, what would you encourage like me as a viewer who doesn't know you, doesn't know what it is, but I like the sound of the product? What do you encourage me to do? What's my next step?
So I funnel everyone to Project Broadcast. So that's my biggest thing is like, get into the link in my bio. And then hopefully they'll text me either for like more information or a coupon code. And then you have a list. I have a list of over probably 17,000 people on my Project Broadcast. Nice. And the really cool thing about funneling them there is the fact that when you run promotions, if you change products, if you have a social media site crash, like literally you can just send it out and they're going to follow you. So, I mean, I've recently had that happen on Facebook. My big account offended Facebook.
Oh, so, how dare you?
Oh gosh, it was so bad. So they banned me for a little while. So then I started another Facebook account and the reels are taking off on that account. So now I'm like working 2 accounts, but
there we go.
There's hope, you guys. That's it though. These accounts can get taken down. So you have to be ready to pivot. You can't cry about it, right? You have to like keep moving forward.
So obviously for those of you who aren't in the US, you're probably thinking like, what's Project Broadcast? Because outside the US, Project Broadcast, I don't think is available yet. Hopefully one day it will be, right? So Project Broadcast is it's basically like a text service, isn't it? So they text you or they click a link, they join it and allows you to text, like mass text people, right? What are some of the messages that you like send out? Like, do you have like a standard message that you'll send out to everyone? Or do you send like once a week? You send like a testimonial? Like, what are some of the messages that you send out?
So I don't do that. I feel like that would be spammy and they'll unfollow me. So my text message list is really set up to get them the information they want, get them to order. And I just basically tell them, you know, these are the products that we got results on. These are the ones we love. Here's where to order them. And then I just send out promotions when our company runs promotions, or if I want to get them on a Facebook Live. So ultimately, you do want to get that text message list onto your Facebook or your favorite platform for sure.
Right. And this is a great key, guys. Like, for those of you listening in, something called cross-platforming, where there are going to be, imagine if you had like circles, and we kind of draw the 3 circles. One represents TikTok, one represents Instagram, one represents Facebook. There are going to be some people who follow you only on Facebook, only on TikTok, only on Instagram, because that's the only platforms that they've got. Not everyone is in network marketing, so not everyone has multiple accounts on multiple platforms. But some people love your content on Facebook. They hear that you're on Instagram and they follow you on Facebook and Instagram. Some of you love you on, so some of them follow you on one account, one platform, 2 platforms, or all 3 platforms. It's your goal to get as many people that follow you on as many platforms as possible. As Holly mentioned before, something could happen to your Facebook account or your Instagram account or both, but you shouldn't stress because you've still got TikTok, you've still got your email list or your project broadcast list. So if you're in the US, get project broadcast, or I think community is another one, but project broadcast seems to be the better one. If you're in the UK, you can set up ManyChat. It's not going to be the same, but it runs through like Facebook and Instagram. Most people who use TikTok have Facebook and Instagram, and you can build a list that way as well. So check out those platforms, do a little bit of research, go have fun with it. So how many TikToks do you think you do a day, or a week? Like, do you do 1 a day? Do you do 25 a day? Are you just there glued to your phone? Are you freaking out right now thinking it's been 20 minutes and I've not posted a video for 20 minutes? Like, get me off this call. Like, how does that look like in your day? Like, how many videos do you do?
So when I first started, I was doing probably about 6 a day.
Nice.
But I don't think that's necessary anymore at all.
Yeah.
So now I'm doing, a lot of times I'm just repurposing content that I've already created. So like my old videos, I'm just popping them back to the top, and they're doing sometimes even better than what they originally did. But right now, like I'm telling everybody, just do 2 a day. But honestly, you got to do what's going to be something you can be consistent with, because if you can't be consistent with it, I mean, I just don't think accounts do very well if you're not consistent, honestly.
Yeah, no, it's so important. And it's the same when it comes to reach outs. If you guys are doing reach outs, there's no point in saying you got to do 200 a day if you know you can't do 200 in 1 day, right? So it's your bare ass minimums. Your minimums create your maximums, right? So, all right. So you're focusing like repurposing. I love that you're repurposing old videos, because I think that's just something that people aren't doing. And they should be, like, you know, every 60 days, 90 days, just post the other one. People haven't seen it. So, you know, try it again. It's don't change the message, change the audience. It's a classic saying that's been around for years. So then, okay. So you do the TikTok video, the short form video, you get people onto project broadcast. On there, they're obviously getting sent the information. Are you doing any calls? Are you doing any audio messages? Or is it just, hey, you're getting so much traffic that it's like, people just want this?
Yeah. You know, it's honestly a lot of traffic. And I'm certainly not calling anybody. I won't be doing that anytime soon, I don't think. But I do voice messages. I think just getting uncomfortable, because I think a lot of times people are so held back by doing voice messages and these videos, and it's like, just do it, you know, just get uncomfortable and do it, because it can literally change your life with just a couple videos. And don't give up either, like, seriously.
So no, for sure. So for someone who's on your team, let's say I join your team, right? Let's say I join your team and you're like, right, this is what you got to do. You got to be doing two videos a day. And I'm like, what would you share? What would you say to someone out there who's like, I've never done a TikTok video. Like, everyone's ticking and I'm talking, like, I'm a bit awkward. Like, I don't know if this is going to be for me, if that's what I've got to do. Would you share alternative ways, or is there something, or do you have like a process or a system or guidelines where you would help that person create their first 5 videos?
Well, I do have a course for them that they can go through that's going to help them build their confidence. But at the same time, I don't necessarily think that TikToks are for everyone at the beginning. So I normally tell them to start out like in their stories, and that's going to help them get more comfortable, like talking, and then we can move into like TikToks. But I mean, right away, it can be so much pressure. I mean, I feel like we throw so much information at them to get started, and it's like, all of a sudden they clam back and you don't even hear from them ever again,
Yeah.
So I just really try to help them like get comfortable with the small things first.
No, this is so cool. So then what about, do you use the same system for getting team members, like distributors? Because I can see on like TikTok, and you can talk about the product, like here's my product, like click the link, and for the information about the product. But business is a little bit different, because people just react differently to business. I can see from your numbers, 9,000 customers, 400 personal team members, right? So it's a little bit the difference in numbers. How does that process differ, if at all, or is it just the fact the content that you're creating is just business based, and you're saying click the link and they're getting different information?
Well, my favorite thing to share is the product, and I got to get better at the business. But I feel like a lot of my people who join the business love the product first. So
good.
But the people who do want the business, I just funnel them into a Facebook group, and then the Facebook group has all that information for them. And then I take more time to answer those questions and then get them onto Messenger so that I can voice clip them, because texting it just it's kind of messy. I think I like to be able to like have that conversation.
Well, yeah, you can't read tonality either. So like, I think a lot of the invitation or the information is not what you say, it's how you say it and how they feel about how you say it. You could say the biggest load of rubbish, but you could say it with such high energy and enthusiasm that they win. There was a really interesting saying. People don't say it as much these days, but it used to get said all the time, and it was kind of false. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. You definitely can, but you can't say the wrong thing with high energy to the right person, right? So like you could completely mess it up, but be so fired up that the right person's like, I'm in. Like just I want what he's got. I want what she's taking. So all right. So you would follow people, you would get people into a Facebook group, the information's in there, you tag them in the relevant video, the relevant information, and then you would audio message them or send a video message or whatever it might be. All right. And your team are doing the same thing. It's not just like your Facebook group for you.
Right. Yep. So no, it's for the whole team. It's my ATM group.
Right. And what sort of, I feel like I'm asking a million questions here, but I'm just intrigued because it's so crazy. You guys who've been listening for a while, everyone we interview seems to do something a little tiny bit differently to the person before, right? It's just a little tiny bit differently, little bits here and there. And I hope that excites you, knowing that you don't have to figure out what the absolute perfect way of doing it, because there's no way that's perfect. There's just different people work different ways. So when you're talking about the business on like in your short form videos or on social media, like are you talking about pain? Are you talking about stories? Are you talking about what it's done for you? Or are you just more talking about the product, and then the people who have got a result from the product just saying, hey, you should really check out the business because you can make some money sharing these products too?
Right. Honestly, when I do my business videos, I'm normally pushing some pain points. Because there are pain points in this industry. And I think that if you can solve those for somebody, they're going to want to check out, what you're doing. So pushing pain points, push pain points on the products too. Like that's like the biggest thing you can possibly do is push those pain points and then have a solution.
Yeah. And again, like a lot of people are going to be thinking like, oh, I don't have a solution. So real simple assignment for you guys to do is get a piece of paper or notes in your phone if you don't use paper or pen or whatever it might be, and just write down all your products. You might have 3, you might have 10, you might have 150. If you want it in one of those companies that has 600 products, you might have 600, but pick like maybe 5 to 10, or if you've only got 1 or 2, let's say 1 to 10 products. And then on the other side, list out all the benefits or the problems, the benefits that it can give, or it's given to you. Be careful about health claims and all that, but also all the problems that people who maybe have should, would just make a massive list. And then if you want to create a third column, how can you create a hook? Because one of our friends, Lily, she says, if there's no hook, she don't look, right? And then in the inner circle, we kind of create this phrase, no hooky, no lucky. Right. Yeah. So like, and it's true, right? It's got to have a hook. You're not just going to be able to go like, hey, I've got this great product. It's amazing. You got to hook people in like, hey, if you're struggling like me with, then yeah, but you got to be careful with health claims and stuff. Holly, this has been amazing. Is there anything else before we leave that you would like to share with the audience that's maybe helped you, that maybe could help them?
I think one of the biggest places, because since we're talking about hooks, if you just do like a Google search and click news on whatever you're sharing, like if let's say weight loss, go type in weight loss into Google, hit the news tab, and it's going to be all these incredibly researched hooks that you can use in your videos. And I think that can be just, I mean, they're professionally done, so they got to be good, right? So that's where I always suggest people to look is like, go check Google News or go check Pinterest, like see what's pulling up first and just recreate those as your hooks.
Yeah, it's funny because in the YouTube space, a lot of people use clickbait, like clickbaiting. It's called. So you're baiting someone in by creating like a headline that's like, the video is not really about that. Kind of is. They touch on it a little bit, but not the whole thing. But it just hooks you in so much. Like, I quit network marketing. You click on it, it's like, you think I'm going to quit network marketing? Of course I'm not. Hey, today I want to talk to you about how you can recruit. It's just amazing. So I think that's such a great idea. YouTube's another good place for that as well, for finding these great hooks for the videos that have got loads and loads of views. Holly, you're amazing. How can people, what's the best place or what's the best platform for people to find you? Is it TikTok, Instagram, Facebook? And how would they find you?
I would love to say Facebook. As long as I stay on Facebook, I say, hey, Holly Lynn. You can find me really anywhere with Hey Holly Lynn, but Facebook is my favorite platform for sure.
All right, this is really cool. So guys, I've got a little assignment for you. Take a screenshot of what's on your device right now, right? Whether you're on the YouTube video, you're on the podcast, whatever it is, take a screenshot of me and Holly right now. Holly, let's smile. It's weird, isn't it? There we go. And they'll take a screenshot and then post that onto your Instagram stories. Tag me at Frazer Brookes online, and then they can tag Hey Holly Lynn, right? If it's on Instagram stories, right? All right. So tag me at Frazer Brookes online. Tag Holly at Hey Holly Lynn, and just maybe write in the story like how fired up you are, what you learned, what you're excited about, and then maybe just send a thank you message to Holly. Yeah, I know you're grateful and all that for it, but send her a message just to say thank you. You guys can connect and get some, model what Holly does, what she does, see what she does, what you like. Go create yourself, go create your own version of that. I'm sure Holly will be super excited to see that you've done that, and always give credit where credit's due. And yeah, go ahead and do that. Holly, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for taking your time out to make this happen. And I know a lot of people have got a lot of value, so thank you.
Yes, thank you for having me. Seriously, this has been incredible, and I'm always willing to help. Like, I mean, that's kind of scary to say because you have a big audience. So, but you guys, I'm always welcome. I mean, you're always welcome. I'm going to help you.
I appreciate that. That's awesome.